What's up, Ian here, and this is my review, quick unboxing and graph measurements of this Kbear Storm Single Dynamic Driver IEM. Now before I begin, I'd like to thank Kbear for sending this to me and making this video possible. But guys, rest assured that whatever I say in this video is my own opinion. This video is not scripted and Kbear will be watching this video together with you guys. Right, so Kbear Storm, and this is yet another budget IEM. I've got so many budget IEMs, and this is another one, and this time is from Kbear, and this one is retailing at $17.99, $18 lah, okay. And for those of you who are interested to check it out, please take a look at the link down in the description below. It's unaffiliated, okay. So as usual, in this video I'll go through the accessories, I'll measure this IEM, and then I'll share with you guys my listening experience and sound performance of these IEM. Now this video will be timestamped, so for those of you who wish to skip around, please feel free to do so. Right, okay, so let's first remove the plastic so that we can go through the specs. Okay, so yeah, so basically this has got three different colors. All right, you got purple, blue, and black, right, depending on what you want to choose. And of course on the website you can choose whether you want to have the microphone attached to the cable or not. Okay, so these are the three different colors. At the back you have some specifications. Let's quickly go through them. So basically the impedance is 32 ohms, sensitivity is 108, and the frequency response is 20 to 20,000 hertz. And this driver is a peak plus PU 10mm dynamic driver. Okay, right, so let's open up and see what's inside. Okay, very typical budget IEM packaging. Let's take this, put that one side. User guide, instructions, then you have ear tips. Let's take a look at the ear tips. Okay, so 3 pairs of ear tips, and this is, I think it's a bass boosted, it's a narrow bore ear tip. So yeah, bass boosted ear tip, and quality is okay. I mean, it's quite typical of the Kbear ear tips, if you have seen those. Okay, and I think this one is foam tips. Okay, so not bad. They give, oh no, it's another set of ear tips. It's not foam tips. So okay, so there are 2 types of ear tips. So you have your bass booster ear tips, which is the black one, and then the treble. All right, this is a wider bore ear tip, which is the clear one, semi-clear. And yeah, it depends on your listening experience or listening preference. If you want more bass, use the narrow bore. You want more treble, use the wider bore. Okay, so 2 types of ear tips, which is good, you know, for 17 bucks. So many ear tips. And this is the cable that comes with it. Well, it's okay. I mean, looks like a budget cable. Okay, and I foresee this cable is going to be quite tangly, but it's quite stiff, you know. It's not the soft type. So it's got a cable management velcro strap. Okay, the cable is 4-core braided. The 3.5 headphone jack is angled. Y splitter is metal or plastic, yeah, plastic with metal sleeve. And on the right side there is this microphone with, well, button, right, for you to answer your phone calls and play and pause your music. Ear hooks is okay, pretty soft. Yeah, pretty soft, pretty nice. And this is a QDC style 2-pin connector. Okay, yeah, so cable wise is okay. I mean, it's a budget earphone. So that's for the cable. Let's take a look at the IEM themselves. Right, so this is the Storm. All right, Kbear Storm. This is the yeah, it's a clear shell. Okay, clear shell, and pretty thick. It's a thick boy for a 10mm dynamic driver. Look at that. There's a lot of space here inside the shell for the a lot of space left. Okay, so faceplate looks quite typical of IEM shape. IEM got some designs, Kbear, and the name Storm on it. The inner ear, inner side or inner shell is, the whole thing is actually made of plastic, well, acrylic, I don't know, resin, it depends on how you look at it. Yeah, and the inner side is a bit of a fin here, right? and it's tapered. The nozzle is pretty long, and the nozzle is made of brass, right? And they've got this metal mesh filter and the 2-pin connectors on the top. Okay, pretty typical IM design, right? So now what I'm going to do is take out my measuring rig and let's see how they graph and they look on the graph. So be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and as you can see, I brought out my measuring rig and my coupler, my Kotori cable, my foam tips, and the Kbear Storm. Okay, so let's I've already calibrated everything, so you don't need to watch through that. Let's begin with the measurement. Okay, so let's put the left side into the coupler, right? Alright, so let's go to the computer, and first let's give it a name. And let's check the levels. 89 dB. Okay, it's pretty okay. Let's see how they look on the graph. Okay. Alright, so this is the left side. Now let's take the left side out from the coupler and put in the right side. So this is the right side. Right. Okay, now let's go back to the computer and check the levels first. 89 dB, okay. And let's begin. Let's see how they graph. Okay, pretty okay. I mean, it's about 1 to 2 dB difference in terms of the bass. Yeah, but yeah, in terms of the channel matching is not the most perfect, but it's acceptable. Okay, right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tidy up this graph and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and let's analyze this graph, right? So the blue dotted line is the Harman target, and the other two lines is the Kbear Storm, right? So looking at this, let's take a look at the sub bass. Sub bass is rolled off, okay, and it's, well, a little bit of channel imbalance here, but let's take the top one, okay. And yeah, it's above the Harman target. I would say it's a bassy IM. And then the mid bass is very present, okay, a lot of presence in the mid bass and a lot of presence in the mids, the lower mids. All right, this part here from about 250 hertz all the way to 500 hertz. This is a very present mids. Okay, and then yeah, there's a lot of upper, well, the gain to the treble in terms of the higher mids, the upper mids. Ooh, wow. It's a lot of gain for the upper mids, and this is, looks to me a bit shouty and harsh. Okay, looks to me, but at the same time, it's not a very present treble. So the treble dips down immediately from the 4K, dips all the way down by, I think, 15 dB around there. Yeah, about 15 dB. And then that's for the presence. And then for the brilliance, it shoots back up to the around 8K region to, yeah, maybe about another 10 to 12 dB, and then it rolls off pretty naturally, I would say. So looking at this treble is a bit shouty and sibilant. Yeah, not much of a bass. So in terms of the entire balance here, what I see is that a lot of emphasis on the treble, okay, and the mids, okay. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to listen to all my test songs, and I'll share with you guys my impression, the sound impression, and my review of this Kbear Storm. So be right back. Alright, so I'm back and I've listened to these Kbear Storm, and here's my sound impression of it. The gears that I used is my Questar M15, my iPad, my MacBook, my iPhone, my Android phone, the usual stuff, okay? And the songs that I listen to is on my Apple Music, which is my IEM test songs. If you guys are interested in this list and what I used to listen to, please check out the link down in the description below. Right, so before I begin, let's talk about the fit and comfort for this. Remember, this is $17 US, okay, $17 US, and it fit my ears pretty well. Okay, I like the fit on this. Doesn't give me any fatigue, doesn't give me any pain in my ear. Okay, so very typical shape, IEM shape, and the ear tips are fine. As you can see, I've got some oil here, but ear tips are fine. It's good. Does the job. Okay, it's not too flimsy. It's not too well. It flexes a little bit, but it's okay. Right. So for fit and comfort, no issues with this. Now let's talk about the technicalities of this. So this is a single dynamic driver, PU plus peak, and it's okay. Soundstage is intimate, right? It's a small room, not a big room, but it's kind of enclosed, so it's a pretty good soundstage in the sense that it's got the space, a sense of space, at the same time a distance, but the distance is not a very far distance. It's quite a small room, but it's quite intimate. Okay, so that's for the soundstage. Imaging and positioning and sound separation is pretty good as well. It's not bad for $17 US. I can actually identify where the instruments are. The positioning and the sonic positioning of the instruments are not bad. Okay, for the sound separation is okay. It's not really separated. It's basically quite I would say congested in one note, but there is some sort of a separation from the vocals and the percussions, so it's pretty okay for $17. You know, I think that the sound separation on this is not bad already. Okay, now detail retrieval is pretty good actually. You know, pretty detailed. All right, and yeah, I can actually pick up some nuances of the sounds, like the guitar string plucking, tapping of the snares, and some other nuances of the background singers and clapping and all that. So it's pretty good, right, for $17. Now for resolution, I find that it is okay, right? It's not the most resolute. As you guys know, I've a ton of IMs that I've listened to, and this is actually, you know, from the price, the performance point of view, it's pretty okay. It's pretty good for $17. Okay, right, so that's for the technicalities of this. For the tone and timbre, this one is more of well, I would say light dry, a bit light dry, and natural, not so much neutral, but natural sounding. It's kind of warm as well, so somewhere in between there lah. Okay, so that's for the tone and timbre. The note weight is a little bit light and lean. Okay, right, so now let's take a look at the sound signature. So sound signature on this, right, this is more of a treble and boosted type of tuning, right? So it's still a V-shaped, but it's more emphasis on the treble, not so much on the bass. Okay, so if you look at the well, this is compared to the Harman Target. So the bass, I would say, is rolled off in terms of the sub bass. If you take a look at the sub bass, it's kind of rolled off. Got good enough note weight. It's a bit light on the note weight for the sub bass. Rumble is quite substantial. Got good solid feel to it, but it's a bit on the lighter side, and it doesn't resonate quite far. So, but I mean, it performs pretty well. You know, it's okay. It's not really that rolled off. Okay, maybe it's my the channel imbalance on this, but from what I hear, it's a little bit rolled off. Okay, for mid bass is emphasis. Now it's got a more forward type of punch, and very impactful punch, and it's not really controlled as well. So I would say the punch and the slam is kind of loose, right? So I mean it's okay. It's got that solid feel to it, and a bit light, and yeah, from what I hear, it is kind of present, but is a bit of a leaner type of presence. Okay, for this mid bass. For the lower mids is okay, is kind of forward a bit, but I find that the instruments, they have got that presence, but is on a leaner side of the presence. So they don't have that heavy note to it. Sometimes I find that a bit hollow, a bit thin. Yeah, I think that's the word for it, thin. So for piano strikes, violins, and trumpets as well, you know, they sound a bit thin and light. Okay, but the clarity is there. The in terms of the details of the instruments, they are very detailed. Okay, so very good presentation of the music. It's just a little bit thin and light on the note. Okay, for the upper mids, all right, so this is where it, you know, transits from the mid-range to the treble. The bite is there. Okay, so I find that this is where, you know, the instruments get their details. All right, it's quite a detailed presentation of the instruments, and yeah, pretty bitey, and I would say kind of intimate as well, in your face type of presentation. Okay, so that's for the upper mids. Now let's talk about vocals, right? So vocals, male vocals, with the help of the lower mids, and I find that it's pretty okay. Not an authoritative kind of presence. At the same time, they sound a little bit lean and light, and not as warm and but I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not the kind of person who likes warmish type of male vocals, even though, you know, they sound more musical, but this one sounds more I would say light. Okay, so male vocals, they sound okay. Female vocals is a mixed bag for me for female vocals. So female vocals, right, they sound energetic. It's got good presentation, good bite energy, and kind of well, I wouldn't say sparkle. Yeah, not much of a sparkle, but a good presentation. But it's a bit harsh. Okay, so female vocals sounds very intimidating, I would say, but it's good for those who likes that extra details of the female vocals, especially when they go, you know, the higher octaves. They sound really in your face. Okay, so that's for female vocals. Now let's go to the treble. So treble, I would say it's emphasis. All right, it's got a lot of emphasis on the treble. So the hi-hats and the cymbal strikes, they've got that initial presence when they strike, and the snares as well. When there's a strike of the cymbal strike, I hear it very prominently, kind of in my face type of presence. The clarity is there as well, but it, you know, then it gets muted, right, in terms of the presence region. So the bite is there, and but the after trail off of that cymbal strike, it becomes like laid back. Okay, so it becomes like a darkish type of cymbal strike to me, and a hi-hat as well. So it's not a very engaging but present, not present but in your face type of presentation. So it's clear, but it's not present. So that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so what I hear is that yeah, it's a bit darkish in terms of the treble. At the same time, it's a bit harsh as well. So this part here, in terms of the mid treble, is not really a peak, because the upper mids is actually a taller peak than the mid treble. But I would say that it's still got that, I would say, a bit of that sibilance, right? A bit of that sibilance, and yeah, it's especially for female vocals, right? They've got, especially when you go, you've got songs with the S and the T, that really bites into my ears. Okay, in terms of sibilance, but Other than that, the air is pretty natural, right? It rolls off pretty naturally. You got good extension, natural extension of the cymbal strikes and the hi-hats. Okay, so that's the entire frequency response for this Kbear Storm. Now, my conclusion for this, okay, $17. This is a very good set for $17, right? I mean, even though with all this treble tuning, I find that it's a good set for those of you who wish to get into this audio hobby, right? It's a good set to go. It's got good clarity, and for those of you who likes treble, well, this is a good set. It gives you a lot of details. Well, not a lot, but good enough details for a beginner. And this part here, it's got good enough mid bass, though the sub bass a bit rolled off and it's a bit harmonious actually. It's not a very bad type of sub bass, but it's good enough for the resonance. So overall, it's a good, yeah. And casual listening. And if I were you, I would listen to a lot of, in fact, a lot of genre fits this earphones. I find that I listen to a lot of my songs, so I just go through. I've got the theme from Jurassic Park, and this is more of a classical, and it gives me the sense of space. It tells me how good this will play in terms of the loudness and the softness of the music. And I've got Yoshi Horikawa. This one gives me more of the sense of the sonic positioning of the instruments. I've got Sex Pistols, so it gives me the overall balance of the earphones as well, how it balance out all the different instruments. Okay, again, another classical, Montagues and Capsules, basically a classical song. And I've got Thundercats. This one gives me a more of a sensation of the bass. Okay, so this one, the control of the bass, how well controlled is the bass. So yeah, so in terms of the overall performance of this, I would say it's a pretty average but good enough performer at $17. Okay, yeah, I do recommend for those who listen to all kinds of genre music. It does play okay, all kinds of music, right? For those who have already a lot of IMs in your collection, obviously, if you want to collect another IM, why not? But I wouldn't say this is another good collection, because I think there's a lot of budget IMs already out there with this similar tuning, and yeah, it is nothing special about it. It's just a good performer, but for those of you who is not in this audio hobby and wants to get yourself into it, this is a good option. Right, so that's my overall sound impression and review of this Kbear Storm. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Right, so that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next review. Cheers.